What's up, guys? This is Andres from the Strong Family Money Show, and in this episode I have another Q&A on the top 5 questions that every guy over 40 has as pertaining to their health. Stick around and I'll give you those answers I got. So a while back I put a question out there on my Instagram stories asking people to submit their questions on. So you have questions about your health. You don't know who to ask or where to get the answers from. I have my answers here, and let's get right at it. So I mean, your health is very important, and especially as you get older, it becomes more important. And you want to fix as many things as you can the younger you are, and not wait until you get older for a doctor to fix it for you, like with surgery or with medicine, right? You want to do as much as you can as young as you are. So, as young as you are. So anyway, number one question: should I take vitamins? So, for all intents and purposes, vitamins are not really effective. Just the way, so for as expensive as they are, the amount of money you have to spend to get a good vitamin that has a high bioavailability, you still do not absorb as many as the quantity of nutrients that are on the label, right? So you read a label of a multivitamin, and it says you're going to get this much of whatever vitamin or mineral that's in there, and so we all experienced, people who have taken the vitamins experience that you take a vitamin and the next time you go pee, right, the pee's bright yellow, right? That's the vitamins that you're peeing out into the toilet. So for all intents and purposes, vitamins, although they may be helpful, right, your money could probably be spent on other things. And that other things is really just food, right? Because you can get all your vitamins and minerals, all the macro, which is the protein, fat, and carb, and micro, which are the vitamins and minerals, nutrients from the food you eat. If you're diligent in your food planning, if you make sure you eat, lean protein sources, if you get your fats from healthy places like, avocado, nuts, be careful with those. They can add up fairly quickly if you're not careful. And then fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are where you get a large majority of your vitamins and minerals. If you're not a vegetable person, you should become one, right? You should find as many fruits and vegetables that you can tolerate. The biggest variety that you can tolerate, that have, people, they have lots of different colors. You want them to have lots of different colors and textures and where they're from and how they're grown, right? You want things that, come from a tree and come from a root and, on a bush, right? You want them to come from different places, and you want them to be, purple like eggplant and yellow like squash and red like apples, right? You want to get all those different characteristics on your plate, because those are just different vitamins and minerals that you're going to ingest. Make a big salad, do a stir fry, throw some on the side of your meal. The whole point of it is that you get as many vitamins and minerals from fruits and vegetables as you can, from as many different sources as you can, right? And that, I'm going to say most likely, there's a high probability that will be less expensive than having to buy a multivitamin on some frequency, right? Because they're pretty pricey. If you really are getting your vitamins, or you have a lot of variety of fruits and vegetables in your diet, and you still feel tired, or you don't feel right, that may warrant a trip to the doctor for him or her to do a some sort of screening to see if you're deficient in something. Once you're deficient in something, then you can find the food that will give you that something. Then you have to go into, what vitamins and minerals are water soluble and which ones are fat soluble, right? So sometimes you have to take certain vitamins with a fatty source for it to be soluble in fat and you to get the benefits from it, and sometimes just eating it in the water and the fruit or vegetables enough. So I would say that vitamins are not a necessity, right? Getting as much variety as you can in your diet is a necessity. That would probably be cheaper than buying a year's worth of vitamins, and you'll be healthier in the long run. So just eat better. Second question is, does thin really mean healthy? Yes, there are cases where we know someone who's very thin that has health issues. In the context of that I'm speaking in, you don't want to carry a lot of excess weight on you. So we go back in time to like the caveman. Yes, they did in the winter time, and all animals to some extent do this, where there's going to be a shortage of food. Before that they eat in excess to store fat on themselves, so that when there is a shortage, they don't starve to death because they have fat stores on their body, which is really what fat is, right? Fat should be used as a supplement to your body when you don't have anything to eat, right? But now, right, most people do not reach that state where they have nothing to eat at all, barring some circumstances, of course. But in the context of this, right, if you're overweight, I would say working on shedding that excess weight and getting thinner would by default make you healthier, right? There are people who are thin that have other conditions, right? I'm sure metabolic ones are probably not one of them, or self-induced metabolic issues are probably not one of them. And people can be born with issues, and they are thin, and they had, they did nothing to their body to get sick, but they're just born with that condition. But things that are self-induced, I'm sure a large percentage of health issues that someone has who is overweight can be contributed to their them carrying around excess weight, right? So diabetes and cholesterol and heart conditions, probably because you have excess weight, right? My knees hurt, my joints hurt, probably excess weight. My back hurts, probably because you have a big belly. And I know this because I was at that point myself a while back. I did weigh significantly more with significantly less muscle on my frame, and I had sleep apnea, and my knees hurt, and high cholesterol, and I, not to mention I would just sweat all the time, but that's a different story. But yes, I would say working on becoming thinner would take care of a lot of people's health issues. And I bet, so you become thinner, you can then focus on things that so you don't know, right? Am I feeling this way? Do I have this condition because something gave it to me, I'm doing something wrong, or is it just that I'm overweight, right? And you can fix, and when I say fairly easy, it's compared to, you can fix it fairly easy. People think that going to the doctor and doing what they say is easy because you have to do nothing, but what they're doing to you may cause other issues, right? So losing weight and getting down to a healthier weight, and we won't even get into BMI and all that stuff because most people consider that to be, pretty much a joke, right? I am technically obese based on the BMI scale. If you get thinner and you take care of your weight by doing healthy things to take care of it, then I bet a large majority of your health issues go away, and then you know which ones you have to really go to the doctor and take care of. So thinner doesn't necessarily mean healthier, but it's a good indicator on your overall health. Third question I got was, how many hours of sleep do I need? This is a question that I don't I don't think I have an answer, right? So I have an answer that, research says you should probably get anywhere from 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night. And I would agree that that is an acceptable amount of sleep, because when you sleep is when your body repairs itself, gets rid of toxins, right? You need it, right? Neurologically, physiologically, you need to get as much sleep as you can. But there's also a side of me that, on more than one occasion, have I looked up myself, what is the least amount of sleep that I need to get, right? I've done that. And I get typically anywhere from 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night. Because, and there's always a because I want to get up in the morning and go to the gym, right? And I want to stay up. No, I won't even say it that way. I want to go to the gym and work out. And I want to work on my real estate and coffee and vlog businesses, right? I also have a full-time job, and I have a family, right? And instead of saying I can't do the gym and work on my other businesses, right? Or instead of saying, sorry, what am I say? Sorry, job, I'm not going to work as much, or sorry, family, I can't spend time with you. I would rather find time to do those things, and the only way I can do those things is if I take from other places, right? So I think 5 or 6 hours of sleep is adequate for me. I don't, I feel tired, but so does everybody else. Health-wise, I don't think it's affecting me. Going to the gym, I do all right, and I'm able to do the work that I have to do. So the amount of sleep you get is determined by what you have to do, and how you feel when you're doing it, and how you want to feel, or how can you how much can you tolerate while you're doing, how much tiredness can you tolerate, right? So you have to do an experiment on your own, right? Everything's great. If I get 10 hours, I don't think I can get 10 hours of sleep. I don't think I'm able to stay in bed that long. If you can, more power to you, right? You should do it. You should get as much sleep as you're capable of getting. Do I think you should get 3 hours of sleep a night? Probably not. Am I pushing it with 5? Probably. But there's going to be some give and take in everything. So you have to find that happy medium between the things that you want to do, and you got to stick to them. And if you see that you're not benefiting from it, or it's detrimental to other things, then you have to adjust accordingly. But I would say as much sleep as you can get is optimal. Instead of watching TV and doing whatever, going out to the bar with your buddies on a regular basis. I've done that, right? But if you're worried about sleep, then you shouldn't be doing those things, right? If you're doing something productive that will in the long run benefit you, then I don't see why sacrificing sleep on the short term would be a bad thing overall. But so the answer is, get as much sleep as you can that you can tolerate and still fit into your schedule and get everything you need to get done, right? Sometimes it isn't a healthy answer that is the right answer. Sometimes the right answer is the right answer. Do you need a hobby, right? So this is I guess this is definitely a health question, right? Yeah, you need a hobby. You need something to occupy your brain to do something, right? Everyone thinks that when they're done with whatever work they have, that they should just be able to veg out. And I would say I'm totally the contrary of that, right? I would say you need more than one hobby. You need a hobby that relaxes you, takes your mind off of whatever. And then you probably need a hobby that potentially can make you some money, or you enjoy doing it, and if at any point you need to make some extra money, you can then turn that hobby into a business, right? And you enjoy it, but there's a purpose to it. And I would say that's when you're young, right? When you get older, as you transition from working to retirement, a lot of people make the mistake of just quitting cold turkey and not doing anything once they retire and sitting in front of the TV and vegging out. I would say that is a uh, 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 fast track to an early death, right? Or cognitive issues as you get older. Um, I would definitely say, um, you might want to cut back on the hard physical things as you get older, just because you only have a finite amount of energy to spend, but and you want to use that efficiently. But you definitely need something to occupy your mind when you stop working. We had a neighbor when I was growing up that they were big crossworders, and they took it very seriously. And the lady would do crossword puzzles every day, newspaper and just books, and she would make 3x5 cards of I was too young to understand it at the time, but whatever she needed to remember on those 3x5 cards, there were definitions of words, but things that she wanted either to remember or use in her vocabulary, or just, I'm not sure what she used them for, to be honest, but it was something to that effect. But she took it very seriously. She always had them out. She always did them. She had this box of words with definitions that she could, maybe because she could reference them quicker, and she would update that and write things down, right? Her husband would go out and collect, and at that time it was a viable business. He would go out and he would collect things. He would be out all day. He would collect cans and copper wire, and he would strip that and collect those and turn them in for money so they can go to Vegas. And he also collected cans of, like, dented cans. I guess he knew people in the stores, and he would distribute them to people who needed those. He knew randomly he would show up with pizzas. I guess pizzas that people didn't order. He knew a guy that would sell them to him at a discount. He would show up to pizzas at our house. One Christmas, he came over with a milk crate full of toys that he found when he was out doing his rounds for his collecting. And we got each of us, there was more than one of us, I'm not sure it was 3 of us there yet, but at least 2. 2 kids at least got a milk crate each of toys that this man found that people threw out, that he cleaned up and gave to us. So those 2 people, and when we met them, they were already retired, so they already had their hobbies set. So yes, you need a hobby. You need more than one. They need to stimulate your brain. They need to potentially be able to make you some money, and you definitely need one before you get to retirement age. Last question is water important? How much should I really drink? Yes, water is very important. Everyone's heard that your body is 70% water. Being dehydrated is not good. Mentally and physically, it has its negative side effects on a person. Do you need to drink gallons of water a day? Probably not. If you're an athlete, you probably do. You need to drink when you're thirsty. You need to, depending on what literature you read, you need to drink water at some point during your meal. And this is an experiment you can do on your own, based on your own personal digestion. Some people think you need to drink it during your meal because it helps with it dilutes the stomach acid, and it helps soften up and digest your food in your stomach. Some people say that no, you want it to be your stomach acid to be concentrated while you eat, so do not drink anything while you eat. Drink it after you eat. But we all want to sit down and have something to drink while we're eating, because you got to be able to wash some of the things we eat down. But you definitely need to drink water all day. You definitely need to drink mostly water. People have found that saying if it's not pure water, it doesn't count, that being incorrect. Basically, it's liquid, and if your body is able to efficiently filter out whatever sweeteners or coloring is in whatever you're drinking, that could still count as hydration. Coffee and alcohol can potentially dehydrate you, so you want to limit those. You just don't want to drink a bunch of soda in general anyway, but having a soda with dinner, that's diet. You don't want to drink your calories, this is for a different episode, is okay. But yeah, you want to get a lot of water in, as much as you can tolerate. As many bathroom trips as you can tolerate, you want to get in. So yeah, water is important. you want to get it in. So there you go. Top 5 questions that I got on my Instagram story. Submit more. I'd like to do this again. Answer more questions. And yeah, if you have any other ones, let me know. So like and subscribe. Please share this with people that you think this would help. This is Andres from the Strong Family Money Show. I will talk to you guys next time.